Start speaking. Hello. You have to start somewhere. Yes, that's great. I heard something else.
Practice.
Practice. Yes, that's in there.
Confidence.
Yes, that's in there too.
Body language.
Body language. Yeah, that's in there as well. Voice. Antibiotic. What?
Mental.
Mental.
Giving them.
Yes, a mentor. Yes, absolutely, coach. Which one? Motivate others? Yes, absolutely. Well, you guys, you pretty much have the formula. You guys are this is a very intelligent country, so I'm probably only saying things that you already know, and that's fine, because maybe you just want to hear it come out of my mouth, and I'm fine with that. So I will start with number 10, and these are not necessarily in any specific order, but these are the top 10 tips that mean the most to me, and these are what I took to the World Championship stage. Somebody mentioned it before. Number 10 is being confident. Being confident. If you don't believe in your message, why should we? If you get on the stage in front of the numbers that were mentioned earlier, 10 or even 70 people, but you get up here and you're kind of hanging back here, you're not looking anyone in the face, your voice is kind of low like this, and you're trying to tell me something that you want me to, we're not going to take you seriously. We're not going to respect what you're saying. So what I mean by confidence is raising your voice. It's using the stage like you own it. Point 1. Point 2. Point 3 is opening your body language. It's raising your voice so that we can hear you. It's being audible. It's looking at us, looking into the crowd, looking into our eyes. And if you do those things, those all together, collectively, if you do those things, you'll come off as confident, even if you're nervous, even if your heart is beating 55,000 beats per minute. If you can come up here, give eye contact, own the stage, and be confident, we'll believe in whatever it is that you're telling us. So number 10 is be confident. Number 9, body language. Somebody said that as well. Body language. My name is Ramona Smith, and I'm so excited to be here. I love you all so much. I'm having such a great time in Dubai. I've had so many great experiences in Dubai, and everything has been great and wonderful. And I'm just so passionate and so energetic about being here. Thank you. It's like, oh, are you really? Really? Body language. 90% of communication is nonverbal. So even if I get up here on the stage and I say nothing, but I come, I run. I'm happy to be here. You can tell. I didn't even have to say a word. I didn't even have to say a word because my body said everything. So when you're giving your speech, when you're giving your talk, your body is a tool. You have to use your arms. Maybe not as dramatic as me. I'm just a dramatic person. I'm not saying you have to get up there and play Shakespeare or be in a play. I'm saying use your hands. Use your face. Smile. If you're talking about something sad, maybe give a little frown. If you're talking about falling down, maybe slump down a little bit. Use your body to help you tell the story. Because if you get up here and you're as stiff as a board, we hear you, but we're not going to be fully engaged because we want to see. We want to see you moving. We want your limbs and your eyes to be able to help tell the story. Number 9, body language. Don't be afraid to move. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to move your body. Don't be afraid to use those hand gestures and those facial expressions. Please, nobody wants you to stand up like this and tell us an amazing story because you're not going to bring us with you without using your whole entire body. Number 9, body language. Number 8, this is a big one, especially for new speakers. I've had trouble with this as well because naturally I talk fast. So I have to learn how to slow my pace, but pauses, that's number 8, that's huge. When you state a question to the audience, don't just go right after into the next point. Give the audience a moment to take it in. If I say, when was the last time life knocked you down? The last time life knocked me down was, I'm not giving you time to let it marinate. When was the last time life knocked you down? Pause. Let it simmer. Let it marinate. Let the audience be able to take it in. Make it seem like you're actually waiting for a response. That's going to bring the audience in. That's going to help them engage. Laughter is a big thing. Pauses. If I tell a joke and you laugh, but I stump on your laughter, that's going to lose you. If I say something that's, okay, pretend I said something very funny. The cat in the hat. and the cat in the hat. If I cut off your laughter, it's not going to give you that time to engage. When I was on stage and I said, still in training, and everybody laughed. If I would have said, still in training, I still haven't had a husband, if I would have kept going, it would have ruined the moment. So pausing helps the audience feel like they're involved in your speech. So please when you're timing your speech, incorporate timing for pauses. This pause, after I ask this question, is going to take 3 seconds. I know this is a joke because every time I give this speech, people laugh here. So make room for that pause. How long is that pause for laughter? Pause for effect. How many of you have ever seen Despicable Me? he says something, he said, pause for effect. And then he moves on. So pauses are very important. That's number 8. Number 7. This is a big one, but you all are great today. Appearance. A lot of times when we give speeches, we don't think that wardrobe has an effect on the way we speak or has an effect on our speech. You all look great this evening, so congratulations to you. Everybody looks fine. Good. If you wear a shirt that has a big bird on the center of it, right? What is everybody going to be staring at? The big bird right here on your shirt. And if you're talking about birds, that may work. But if you're up here trying to give a serious speech about leadership or about confidence or about the struggles that you faced in your life and how you overcame them, but you have a big canary on your shirt, I'm going to be thinking about the bird. What color is it? What does it sound like? Do I want chicken for dinner? It can be a bit distracting. So consider your wardrobe. Consider what you're wearing. Are you wearing a pattern that may irritate someone's eyes? Are you wearing a color that may be paint? Are you wearing a lime green or bright flashing yellow? Are you wearing, for me, I actually had a wardrobe malfunction the other day. I had on a blouse and I had on one of these lapel mics. And the lapel mic was pulling on my blouse, which could have been distracting. So I should have had on a jacket. So please consider your wardrobe and your appearance. And make sure whatever outfit you choose, make sure you look good in it. Make sure you feel good in it. Fellas, you have a favorite suit or a color that your wife says you look really good in, maybe consider wearing that day. Consider wearing something that's going to make you feel good. Something that's going to make you feel comfortable. Ladies, heels, great. But if they're squeezing life out of your feet, you're not going to be comfortable. So wear something that's going to make you feel comfortable, because we all know, we've all heard this before. When you look good, you what? You feel good. And when you feel good, you work good. And when you work good, eventually they'll pay you good. But appearance is big. Please make sure you're presentable. Please make sure you're comfortable. Please make sure whatever you're wearing is not too distracting to the audience. That's number 7. Number 6, honor feedback and evaluations. Honor feedback and evaluations. When people are evaluating your speech, Toastmasters, you are lucky, because you're not getting somebody who's going to attack your speech. You're getting someone who's going to give you constructive criticism, because we're very nice in Toastmasters. Most of the time, we're not going to tell you it was horrible, it was bad, don't ever give that speech, throw it away. We're not going to tell you that. We're going to tell you, this is what I like, this is what I love, but then this is how you can take that speech to the next level. So a lot of times when we do give our speeches, they're personal. It's our story. We don't want to change anything. I don't want to change anything. This is my writing. This is my life. Why should I change something? It means something to me. But what we don't understand a lot of times, or what we don't take into consideration, is there's a difference between me giving the speech and the way someone is receiving the speech. So when someone in the audience is giving you feedback, is giving you a different perspective. It's giving you something that you may not have taken into consideration because you can't give a speech and sit in the audience at the same time. It's impossible. If it was possible, I would have done it. It is impossible. So today, the feedback that was given to the first speaker, take it into consideration. Please don't be too full of your speech and too attached to your speech to not edit, to not omit, because it can be the smallest thing that makes the largest impact. In my speech, initially in that speech, I didn't even have a prop. I did not have a prop. But my director in my district, she said props equal points. So you might want to throw a prop in there. And I decided, well, boxing, quitting, throwing in a towel, I'll use a towel. I don't really think my speech would have had the same effect if I didn't throw in that towel. Or the way you say a certain word, the way you speak a certain word. When I said I was crushed, that was from feedback from my director. She said, when you say crushed, really hold on to it and maybe just lean a little bit so people can understand that that was a blow that you took. So little things that you may be unaware of that people in the audience are, the littlest tweak can make a significant difference in your speech, and it can make it, it's always the little things that can elevate the highest. So please, when people give you feedback, listen to it. Listen to what they're saying, especially if it's somebody who you trust, who you respect, and who knows what a championship speech looks like. So please take that feedback and those evaluations and those suggestions and implement them into your speech. Number 5, this is a big one, and I think we all already do this one. Study the greats. Study the greats. When I say study the greats, I mean study the great speakers. Study all the previous world champions. Or study public speakers that you really enjoy outside of Toastmasters. What are the commonalities? What are the common threads? When I was preparing for the final stage, I watched speeches from back in the 80s from the conventions. I watched speeches from men. I watched LaShonda Rundle's speech. I watched speeches from semifinals rounds. And I asked myself, what are the things that all these winning speeches have in common? There are commonalities. Usually in a world championship speech, they have a phrase that pays. Do we know what I mean? A phrase that pays. Something that's going to stick in your mind. My phrase was still standing, or I'm still standing. The one that sticks out to me the most is by DJ, I see something. That was his phrase that pays. I see something. They all have a phrase that pays. They all have an attention grabber, like the evaluator mentioned earlier. We all begin with something that's going to pull you in. And we all end with a call to action. They all end with, what are you going to do? This is what I challenge you to do. This is what I need for you to do. We're leaving you with something. So when you're preparing for your speeches, who's competing in the next contest? No one? One person? 2? Okay. Well, if you're competing, think about those elements that all those other speeches encompass. Look at the commonalities. Analyze it. See what you can implement into your speech, but also see how you can be different. Because you want to study the greats, and you want to learn from the people who have reached your goal, but at the same time, what can you do that's different? How can you be different? What can make you stand out? Nobody wants to see another Ramona Smith. I've already done my speech. Nobody wants to see that again. Nobody wants to see another Darren Tay, or another Darren LaCroix, or another Jim Key, or another Mark Brown. What can you add to your speech to make it unique? So study the greats. Number 4 is vocal variety. My name is Ramona Smith. I'm a world champion in public speaking. I'm from Ohio, and I have a son. He's 6 years old. His name is Ryan, and I'm looking out the window right now because there are lights flashing, and I just wanted to be the. That's boring. I think I just seen somebody yawn. But if I get on stage and if I'm excited, my voice is loud. If I'm sad, my voice is low. If I want to sing, I'm going to stand up and sing. If I want to whisper, I'm going to stand up and whisper. Vocal variety is going to keep the crowd engaged. It's going to keep them going up and down because I don't know where she's going next. Oh, she's here. Oh, she's there. So use your voice in a different way with your different emotions. If you're angry, we want to hear that you're angry. If you are joyful, we want to hear that you're joyful. If you're at peace, we want to hear that you're at peace. So make sure you're doing those vocal variety exercises. Make sure you're challenging your voice and pushing your voice to be loud, to be soft, to be big, to be small. Vocal variety is going to keep your audience engaged. Number 3, describe it. Describe it. If you're telling a story, instead of saying the woman had brown skin, you can say the lady had skin the color of chai tea. Her teeth were like cumulus clouds. Her hair was like the midnight sky. Describe it. Paint a picture. Use vivid words. Use colorful words. Because while you're speaking, the audience is going to be imagining everything that you're saying. So if you give a basic description of something, if you say the water bottle was blue and the cap twisted on, it's not going to take us anywhere. It's not going to make us feel what you're saying. And the audience wants to be included. You're giving these speeches for other people. So you want to make it so they can enjoy it just as much as you. So describe what you're saying. Show us with your word exactly what you mean. And finally, number two, preparation. But that's easy. That's an easy one. If you don't prepare for anything, you're not going to be good at it. If you get up here and you don't know what you're going to say, and you haven't practiced it, you're probably going to mess up. You're probably going to draw a blank. You're probably going to be all over the place. Everything is not going to line up. It's not going to be organized or structured. And that's for anything you do in life. Athletes, the way you practice is the way you play, right? Who else is a baller? I'm not. Who else plays ball? Cricket, soccer, football? If you don't practice before a game, you're going to go out there and look crazy. You're not going to know the plays. You're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know when to pass, what to do. You're not going to know the plan. So if you practice your speech beforehand, I was at a school earlier, and I think it was today, a kid said, what happens when you get on stage and you draw a blank? Great question, kid. If I'm up here and I practice and I prepared and I watch myself in the mirror and I know what I'm going to say, even if I mess up, you probably won't know I messed up because I know exactly what's supposed to come next. I know the structure. I know the organization. I know what I'm supposed to say. So if I mess up, I can improvise and then get back on track. But if I haven't practiced and I haven't rehearsed, when I draw a blank, that's when those filler words come in. So preparation is huge. That's why it's number 2 on my list. You have to practice. You have to rehearse. You have to put in the time and you have to put in the work. You have to. Although I did write my speech the night before the contest, I still put in about 8 hours that same day. And I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning that morning and I was pacing the halls of the Marriott Marquis in my pajamas, practicing my speech to make sure that when I got on stage, it was flawless. So preparation, that's number 2. And number 1, I've said this since I arrived in Dubai. Number 1, you have to be yourself. You have to be your authentic self. Whatever it is that makes you you, we want to see that on stage. Some of the constructive criticism I received in my speech was, it's too animated. Why is she all over the place like that? Is this a play? No, it's not. That's Ramona. I'm an animated, colorful person. So those were just elements of who I am that I delivered on stage. But everybody's not like this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And if that's not you, don't force it because the audience will see it. And they will recognize it and they will disconnect. Because he's faking. I know him. He doesn't do that. I've never seen him run in my life. So make sure you're up there and you're being your authentic self. You have to be exactly who you are. And those are my 10 tips. Let's do a recap. Number 10. Anyone? Be confident. Yes. Number 9. Body language. Number 8. The importance of pausing. Number 7. Appearance.